KT McFarland. She is a former Trump Deputy National Security Advisor, board member at the American Conservative Union. Some breaking news coming in. Joe Kent is stepping down as the director of National Counterterrorism Center, resigning. That just happened this morning, and he did put out a statement. So this is breaking news. I apologize, KT, if you're just hearing about it. But in his statement, one of the biggest quotes says this: "I cannot in good conscience support the ongoing war in Iran. Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation, and it is clear that we started this." Again, Joe Kent, the head of the National Counterterrorism Center in the U.S., has resigned, not supporting the war in Iran. Thoughts there?
You know, I find this really complicated and not so complicated. Here's a guy who is saying it's not my problem, it's not America's problem. Iran may be getting nuclear weapons, Iran may have sleeper cells, but he says, you know, it's our fault, it's America's fault. I just find it incomprehensible that somebody can say that Iran doesn't present a problem to the United States and that somehow this is America has led this war. Iran has been at war with the United States for almost 50 years. I mean, when I was at the Pentagon in the Reagan administration, my military assistant was killed by Iran, hijacked and killed, tortured. It's gone on for decades, and finally we have a president who wants to cut off the head of the snake, and Iran is the head of the snake. And he's going after Iran systematically by wiping out their nuclear weapons capability, their missile capability, their drone factories, their drone warehouses. He's wiping out their missile factories, their missile arsenals, their missile production capability. He's taken out the command and control. He's taken up the top tier leadership in the IRGC and in the country. He's taken out their military. He's taken out their Navy. He's taken out their Air Force. He's, prior to this, took out their terrorist activities abroad. And so we're finally addressing Iran, finally dealing with Iran, finally have the end is in sight of this terrorist regime, which has been terrorizing not just the region, but the United States and the world for 50 years. And somehow an American official decides this is his moment to criticize the United States. I just don't get it.
Also to put out that statement that, you know, they weren't any threat to us. Now, certainly we know how many hundreds of Americans have been killed by Iran and how many presidents have gone back and forth and back and forth for so long with Iran about their nuclear weapons program, even the IAEA. Are you hiding weapons? What are you hiding? Where are you building these tunnels? Do you see that do you think in any way that President Trump really jumped the gun on this, or could have negotiated longer? Did he just sort of cut into a war without really thinking about it and getting other allies to help us with this?
No, I think it's been, Edie, I think this has been very carefully calibrated since the first week of President Trump's first term. How are you going to deal with Iran? So one way is to bankrupt Iran. That's one of the first steps. That's why we sanctioned Iran. In other words, they can't sell their oil abroad.
Yeah, but they cheat. I mean, they sell to China, so it kind of makes that.
It is not a hasty operation. It has taken years to set up. It is not a feckless operation. We have a goal in sight. And the existential threat to the United States is nuclear weapons. I mean, to me, this is the most America first operation we have, is to prevent the United States from being threatened by nuclear weapons from a country that is developing the intercontinental ballistic missiles capable of reaching the United States and has promised to use them against the United States. That's America first. This is not about regime change. That would be nice. That's noble. But this is about protecting the United States from the nuclear threat of Iran.
Information. Truth. Is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.